like, I just feel so bad for this man. He's doing a generous service. He's salting the block for like this entire fucking neighborhood. Like,
but also certain adults are scary to kids. And I remember that. I remember being scared of my grandpa who had a stroke by the time I got to know him. And like, I said this, I think the other day on the show, or maybe it was to talk to my sister, but we were talking about how I used to like act like I was asleep when I went to Columbus, Ohio, because he had a stroke and I'd never known him pre-stroke, but he was really scary to me. And he'd be like, let's go McDonald's. And he would streak with his like stroke voice. And I would like, oh shit. And then
I can't imagine you somebody offering you McDonald's and you still pretending to be asleep.
Oh no, this is the one. Cause he would drive this big car and he would like drive all over the road and it would scare the shit out of me. And he'd always order like a Coke with no ice. And I was like, oh God, it's scary too. And like, but when you got older, I realized this was his way of trying to communicate to me. And like everybody had said, what a good man.
He's like, don't let them charge you for the ice, kid. Listen, it takes up space. It's them trying to save money. They're not going to, the golden arches aren't going to get me.
Yeah. I wish he could speak that clearly. And why does he sound like you're psychic? You're using the psychic voice. But anyways, Kevin steals the toothbrush and he runs out and Jimmy's like, we got a shoplifter.
Oh yeah. The fucking Jimmy, this fucking dork who works there, who looks like fucking Rick Ash. Like they're like, he's like running with the toothbrush and they're like, Jimmy, wait. And he's like, no, police officer.
By the way, if they updated this, Jimmy would be like, just let him go, Jimmy. We cannot do anything. We like, remember like how you see videos now of them going into purse shops and like the Apple store and they just let them rip the things out of it and they can't do anything about it. Like, it's like, just let him go. Just let him take it. Kevin's like taking all the toothbrushes and Kevin's like, I'm a criminal now, as he's like going across the skate pond and slides through the cop's legs, which it's fun like, to evade police.
Like, giving a ticket to like this woman who's probably, it's around the holidays. So she's probably, has a DUI because that's what the holidays make you do. Unlike what Ryan thinks of like, It's a Wonderful Life. It makes you appreciate the holidays and love so much. And it's just like, no, it's just like this commercial, like this commercialistic of like, who out of all of us is the richest? And like, so he's like giving this woman a ticket and they're like, officer, he's stealing a 98-cent toothbrush. It's not even a fucking Sonicare, which I get they didn't have Sonicares back then.
It's the principle.
It's just like, okay, Jimmy, you fucking dweeb. And so they're like, officer. So the cop takes from like giving this woman a ticket to he books it after this, 8-year-old who's stealing, a dental like hygiene tool.
It would be, thank God he didn't draw his firearm. Like, you stop right. Like, this could have been a shot to the back for this kid.
Well, we're in the whitest part of Chicago you've ever seen. And he's a blonde white kid. So he's like, yeah, fine.
So anyways, we cut to the criminals. They're wrapping up the robbery of a different home on the block. And Harry's like, Marv's coming out with all this goodies. And he's like, and Harry's like, what's so funny? He goes, why you did it again, didn't you? You left the water running, didn't you? What's wrong with you? Why do you do that? I told you not to do that. He goes, Harry, it's our calling card. He's like, all the great ones leave their mark. We're the wet bandits. And he's like, you're sick. You're really sick. I'm sick. Yeah, you are.
How they robbed that house. When you look at it, it's like one of those scenes from like when somebody has like a raging, like, like college party where everything's smashed, but like how he's doing it, which is like he's going around and just like doing like supermarket mistakes off the thing.
He's not taking care of the items.
But no, he's doing it like he's the fucking like murderer in I Know What You Did Last Summer. It's like he has a hook hand. Like he's just like everything.
He's with his crowbar. He's like
he's just like metal, just like everywhere. And I'm just like, you're like, it's just, I don't think you're getting good.
Well, they're not working with a full deck, but so anyways, he's like, they get out of there. It's daylight, you guys. And all like little Kevin McAllister comes running from shoplifting this toothbrush, and the getaway van almost hits Macaulay Culkin. And they're like, oh God. And Kevin's like, sorry. And Harry's like, damn. And Marv's like, Sandy, don't visit the funeral homes, buddy. And Kevin nods, and Harry's like, okay, Merry Christmas. And Harry smiles, and he shows the gold tooth, the same gold tooth that the cop smiled at with on the night before they left for Paris. And Macaulay Culkin sees it. He's like, oh, and Marv's like, what's the matter? And Harry's like, I don't like the way that kid looked at me. Did you see that? And Marv's like, you ever seen him before? I saw 100 kids this week. And Marv's like, let's see what house he goes into. And Harry follows Kevin.
Kids are just like the rudest starers. Kids like look at you. Kids are so fucking rude with how they look at you.
Well, they didn't have this deep conversation in this. They were just like following Kevin McAllister. So they're following him in the van, and Kevin realizes he's being followed. So they're like, maybe he went into the church, and Harry's like, I'm not going in there. And Mom's like, me neither. And Harry's like, let's get out of here.
You're like, that's where that old man pedophile goes to look at his granddaughter. I'm not being with that.
Kevin hid in the nativity scene. That's where he came out of for the church, the nativity scene. And I thought it was really cute.
Oh yeah. Where he like hides under like a blanket.
Yeah. It's a really nice nativity scene outside the church. And Kevin goes, when those guys come back, I'll be ready. We cut to the McAllister house. Harry and Marv pull into the front house. Marv rolls down the window, and Marv's like, did they come back? And Harry's like, from Paris? And we cut to the inside of the McAllister house where Kevin's dancing while moving a bunch of mannequin and cardboard cutouts with the song "Rocking Around the Christmas Tree." Have a happy. Isn't that the song they're playing?
Yeah. So he's playing that, and it's like,
so
at
fun.
first I was like, is it like House of Wax? Like, why are there so many fucking mannequins in this house? And then I realized that she's like, the mom was like the mom's like a fashion designer.
Oh, is that what she is?
So
I didn't pick that up.
Well, it's like when he was running through the house, like at the beginning, and I was like, she has like a model in their bedroom. Mm-hmm. Like this like sewing machine, but the sewing machine is so fucking old. It looks like a sewing machine, like a sewing machine that like would be on the Titanic or something, of like when somebody's like making dress of like, this dress is going to be fantastic. If I don't die of cholera before I'm done, it's going to look great. And so there's like goes down into the basement, and he's like scared stuff. There's like more mannequins and like sewing machines down there, which I'm like, they're going to be so fucking disappointed when they break into this house, because all this house has is fucking old ass sewing machines, like mannequins and poinsettias. I don't see anything else of value besides like the house's like property value, which you can't steal that. But it's like,
but Kevin the kid is probably worth good money.
Oh yeah. Well, he's going to fucking take a fortune.
We got this for our client, MJ, Michael Jackson.
I just think about like this little psychopath of like, how long he's been playing with these mannequins. Like he's fucking like Ryan. Like
by the way, he's having a blast.
Like Ryan Gosling and fucking Lars and Lars and the Real Girl.
Well, there's a Michael Jordan cutout, which there's a cardboard cutout that was in Buzz's room, I think, which made me think of the story. Do you remember the story about the cardboard cutouts in my car?
Oh yeah, how you lost your virginity in front of Whoopi Goldberg.
I guess it was like a Chevrolet, or like it was like this hat. It was like this. I'm trying to remember the make and model of the car, but it was a thing where you could put the seats down, and that's where I lost my virginity, in the back of that car. But
that's a very specific car, because it's like a DeLorean. There are only a few cars that their seats go down. Okay, so there can't be that many options.
Shut up. I used to work at Harkins movie theater, and they would let me take the posters and the stand-ups home. And I had Sister Act 2, and I had Michelle Pfeiffer from Catwoman. And I put Whoopi Goldberg on the passengers, like the back seat, the passenger side, and Catwoman on the other. And I shit you not, I would go out of my house every time and scare myself, be like, like I thought, I was like, I would like get scared every time, thinking somebody was that Whoopi Goldberg was in the backseat of my car. I like
how you never once thought of like, I should take these out.
No, by the way, and this was, I think, in the time when I was obsessed with the Grease 2 soundtrack on cassette.
Oh, God.
And, so I'd be like, I thought I was the coolest kid. I was like blaring Grease 2 with 2 stand-ups in the back of my car and windows.
The thing is, anytime you talk about your childhood, Ryan, like, and then what you told us today, like, I just can't believe those girls didn't have sex till after you left. Like, it's just like, you just sound so cool. Like, you just.
I think you also, it was like, I was in theater, and you're encouraged to, like, not be
drive
weird,
around with cutouts in your.
Well, you're not.
The thing is, Ryan, you're weird even for a theater kid, and something that's from a theater kid. We were like a different subsection of like homeschool kids. We were homeschool kids, but like that were like allowed out. Like,
no, I was still student council. I wasn't like, I did all the announcements every day on, for the whole
I'm
school.
Sure did you voluntarily do the announcements? They were probably like, listen, kid, we got it. Like, I just let like Mrs. Smalley just read the pledge of allegiance. You're
sir,
like, I got it. And you're
sir,
like, every day I'm going to do it in a different character voice.
Sir, please back up. I've got this. I'm a professional. Here is the news for April 18th, Horizon High School. We're expecting a sunny day, so make sure you have your suntan. Social studies will be held in the library today. No, I did it every day senior year of high school. And that was when I had my ex-girlfriend, and I remember like she was sick one day, and so I said over the announcements, like I put a word in there for her. Like that's how dorky I was. I was like, I gave you a signal on the announcement today, like I said something in your honor,
I can't imagine what the word was.
It was pussy. Just like little Kevin McAllister said to these stand-ins as he's having a blast dancing around. Harry's like, we'll come back tomorrow. Maybe they'll be gone by then. We better get out of here before somebody sees us, Mom.
I give this kid so much credit because to put these mannequins together, like we have a mannequin at the store that we named Monique, and truly it is so hard to dress that. Like it is anytime I have to dress her, I'm like, oh no, because it's so hard to put them back together. Where it's like anytime I have to, and it's like her leg is always falling off, and I'm just like nobody gets it when I'm like, let's just have like an Aviva dresser, like in a riding outfit, and they're like, I don't know who that is, and I'm like, what about Paul McCartney's ex-wife, Heather Mills McCartney, when she was on Dancing with the Stars as the first paraplegic? And they're like, no, you still have to dress her. And I'm just like, it takes like an hour to get all the limbs the right way. Like, it's a very hard thing to do. And it's like, they were worried about this little fucking weird psycho genius not being able to pack a suitcase. Like, he's like, they treat him like he's like fucking...
But they don't know. Like, they wouldn't know. They don't know. Like,
he's a sociopath and pretending to be fucking Lenny from Of Mice and Men. And instead, he has all these like intricate little like traps.
That's how I see you're going to go one day. Like Lenny from Of Mice and Men. I see that eventually your caretaker will be like, and you'll be like, pretty rabbits. And you'll be like, yep, the rabbits are pretty, Annabelle. The rabbits are pretty. And then just off screen, you hear a shot, like, just keep staring at the rabbits, Annabelle. The horses are pretty. Yep, the horses are very pretty.
And then
I have seen Annabelle. I have seen Small Soldiers, Annabelle. I have seen Small Soldiers. Yes, Chevy Chase was in Man of the House, Annabelle. You're right. Chevy Chase.
Were you more of a man? Were you more of a Man of the House or a jungle to jungle person?
I was more of a man. Period. No, I was more of a Batman Returns kid. I was watching. You had to have liked Batman Returns. That's a Christmas movie.
Wait, is that the one with
the Penguin and Michelle Pfeiffer?
Which
Michael
is the one
Keaton?
with Poison Ivy? No, that's. Oh no, I know. Oh, my favorite one is the George Clooney.
Oh God, Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
Are you out of your mind? That's so dumb. It's a gay it is. It's a gay Fantasia. Batman has nipples. Batman has nipples on his suit. And Joel Schumacher, which by the way, directed some great films.
That's why I love it so much. It reminds me of you. It just, there's such aggressive nipples in it.
It was a bastardization of what Batman stands for. It was too.
So is that to you like the live action, like Disney? Is that to you like,
yeah, that's like Batman and Robin is what this live action Disney Beauty and the Beast was to you. It's like just a joke. It's like, oh, give me Batman's parents were killed, like slaughtered mercilessly.
Like institution,
and then you're like making them like a joke there, like, and then also just ridiculous. Like none of this is set in the real world at all anymore. That's right. Robert Pattinson's Batman was good. You could actually like, okay, I'm starting to believe this could happen.
It was in a better voice. Christian Bale's voice is just so. The thing is, Christian Bale's voice sounds like a parody voice of like
Rachel!
Of just it's just such a creepy bad voice. It's just such an insanely bad voice.
Or like, Bane's were like. Excuse me, sir. I'm dead.
Like all of this over Maggie Gyllenhaal. This is one of the most unrealistic parts of this movie. I'm sorry. This billionaire is after Maggie Gyllenhaal, not her brother, who's infinitely prettier than she is.
Katie Holmes played that role in the first Batman, and then they switched it to Maggie Gyllenhaal in the second one.
Which I'm just like, oh, why? Like,
well, do you think Chris Nolan was like, Katie Holmes can't act? Do you think that's why she got kicked out of Batman Begins?
I'm just like, I don't
Or
know.
the second
Is
Batman?
Scientology that powerful that they like got her fired? And they're like, you know, what will be a bigger affront to her? We're not replacing her with someone like Megan Fox or something. Like, we're replacing her with Maggie Gyllenhaal. And that to me would just be like, fucking kill me.
Christian. You're an ass. I know what you're saying, but Maggie Gyllenhaal pulled off the role. Like, she pulled it off. I thought she was good. She was good. She was good at the acting part of it. I know what you're saying. Like, Batman can do better. I know what you're saying. Batman can do better.
The part of it, you know, not the
oh my
good at the acting. I like that you like the acting part, which is.
I'm not. Listen, I don't go by looks. I go by what's inside. And she was a great Rachel in Batman Begins. Mm-hmm. I mean, Batman, the Dark Knight. Okay. Anyways, so we go back to Paris.
These be a little bit darker in those rooms.
Anyways, the whole point is all these kids, the other kids that are like stuck in this room. Buzz is like, you know, they're like, you're not worried that something might happen to Kevin? And he's like, no, for 3 reasons. A, I'm not that lucky. 2, we have smoke detectors. And D, we live in the most boring street in the United States of America, where nothing ever remotely dangerous will ever happen, period. And then we cut to McAllister House. The pizza boy hits the statue again. Pizza boy picks up the statue. He arrives to the back door where he reads a sign, where he goes to the front door, reads a sign saying back door. Pizza boy arrives at the back door and knocks on the door. And all of a sudden we hear Johnny go, who is it? And we notice it's the voice from the film that Kevin was watching earlier. And the pizza boy's like, it's Little Nero, sir. I have your pizza. Leave it on the doorstep and get out of here. And the pizza boy's like, okay, but what about the money? What money? Well, you have to pay for your pizza, sir. Is that a fact? How much do I owe you? That'll be $11.80, sir. And Kevin sneaks $12 from the bottom of the door. And Johnny goes, keep the change, you filthy animal. And pizza boy goes, cheapskate. And Johnny goes, hey, I'm going to give you to the count of 10 to get you ugly, yellow, no good keister off my property before I pop your guts full of lead. 1, 2, 10. And then gunshots sound, and the pizza boy is permanently scarred for life. He runs frantically off thinking he's been shot at.
Fucking kid.
By the way, the pizza boy doesn't report this and cops surround the house immediately.
It's just, it's
like the fact that there's no consequences is just
this
insane.
movie is like a very
it's like, pre 9/11, like we said. So
well, it's like, oh, it's like an adorable version of Stand Your Ground. Like it's just it's like that should be what this movie is called.
But I'm saying like one bad move, this kid would have been just dead, like where it's not funny anymore, where he's like, I got him. And then all of a sudden he misses one and they just snap his neck and the movie's over. Like that could have been happening at any point in this movie of just like snap this kid's neck, done. You know, like he's like, ha, I got him again. And he's all like, nobody can ever catch me, little Kevin McCall, you know? So he's like, a lovely cheese pizza just for me. Back to the airport in Paris. Kate's trying to like barter to get airplane tickets from this old couple. And she does that. She gives away like a pocket translator, $500 cash, earrings, a watch. These old couples take her.
Her fucking, like her Rolex, $500 in cash, which like back then, like was like fucking $5,000.
That would be worth Microsoft right now.
Like, does like her, she's like, you can take my wedding ring. And I'm just like, what she's giving away? And I'm just like, fucking, your husband isn't worth that much. Like, are you kidding? Your kid's going to be fine for 72 hours. What are you doing? What are you doing? You left off in the attic.
Oh, because, and spoiler alert, at the end, she gets there and like literally the whole family gets there. Spoiler alert.
The whole family of
5 minutes later, and they took the flight she was supposed to wait and take the flight for. So once again, like that pains me as like a true cheapskate, where I'm like, oh man, like look at all this money they wasted.
And you're like, it truly pains me. It's like he tipped him $2. It's like, come on, that's the company's job. You don't have to tip the employees. There's a tip. Don't even want to know. Like you'd be one of those people. Like I literally had one of those people. Like that was told to me at Hooters as one of my tables, and I wanted to be like, okay, cool. Well, there's no snow in Florida, but thanks for tipping me nothing. Can I be real quick?
Son of a bitch, go quick! I'm telling you, quick.
I
don't. Okay, Annabelle's back. How was it? Number 1, number 2. What do we?
Ryan, girls do not do number 2.
My Christmas wish came true. Yeah. Anyways, we're back.
Are you still reeling from my I am still reeling from my reading.
Your read?
From my reeling.
Oh, so no, that's like, I see, I like, to me, that
I like really wanted to laugh. And then I'm like, I'm recording with Ryan, so that's not going to happen.
That
like, this is even worse.
By the way, if like, that's not even real to me. Like, I feel like that's like, you can like just chuck that out the window. You know, I give you permission to not listen to that lady at all.
But I'm telling you, who's the most accurate psychic is the pet psychic, who I'm so excited for you to read with. I'm telling you, she is the most accurate psychic I've ever used in my life, and she won't tell you you're going to die.
It would be amazing if your pet psychic was telling your pets of like, she's always going to be there. She's never going to leave you. She should. She's never going to leave. You're always going to have her. Does she had done your horses?
Yeah.
What did the horses say?
Yeah, she's done all my animals.
Yeah, but what did the horses say?
Loki and Drago, that we did their things together. And just so you know, she can do as many animals as you want. And it's in like,
I'm sure she can. She got like Drago's in weekly appointments because Drago's going to need a lot of work. We're going to have to see Drago weekly. He's working through a lot of issues right now.
I have to say it was because like Loki was very much like Buddy the Elf, where like Loki was just like, I love doing everything and I give 110%. And I'm here to like help her transition, was like her
into the afterworld.
He just said transition. So I was like, I could go so many ways.
And with Drago, like I have a huge boulder on my back.
She's like, well, Drago, she's like, all right, let's switch over to Drago. And she's like, well, he's a much different energy. And Drago, I started with, he goes, I don't need a lot and I don't want to do a lot. And she was like, okay. And he's like,
maybe she was picking up on your energy.
And he's like, Loki was like, I like tell her I love her and that I'm so happy she's my, and I'm like, we went through this like whole reading and like I just kept being like, well, like make sure you tell him how much I love him. And like over and over I kept saying, I was like, so make sure you just, and I was like, so does he have like anything like to say? And she goes, he says he appreciates you. And I'm like, is there anything else? And she's like, no, that's about it. Like,
well, what do you want? What do you want to hear from him?
Appreciate you. That's like something you write in like a boss writes in like a company card. Like, I appreciate you. Like Mary,
dude,
like
this is getting like,
I appreciate you.
Stage 5 clinger.
If Brooklyn said that about you, you would you would be on board.
I'd understand it. She's from a broken home. She, I split from her mom and like, so I get it.
Like, he was like, I don't want to do what Loki does. I'd rather die. And I was like, okay, that's like dramatic. Like, and he's like,
wait, the horse said that you're making that part up.
No, he doesn't want to.
I'd rather die.
He doesn't want to do what Loki does. He's like, I'd rather die. I don't want to do the same thing every day. Like Drago is like he's like a grumpy old man. Like he is just.
But isn't Drago the one you do the competitions with?
Drago's who I fox hunt with, who was doing which he said he only likes, his favorite thing was to do fox hunting because he liked, quote, the wild abandonment of it.
Oh my God. It sounds like you actually did talk a lot with the pet psychic about, I thought you just said a couple things and now the horse is saying more things.
No, I love that he said it. He liked the wild abandonment of it. And he also said, he's like, I don't, once I do something for the day, he was like me when he said, he's like, I don't care about doing something. I'll do something. He goes, but once I've done something for the day and you put me away, don't come get me again. I've done my one thing. I'm not doing anything else. And I was like, I get that.
Is that accurate? Is that accurate from how he actually behaves?
Like he really, like he's like a grumpy old man. Like when he's like, do not come get me for anything else. And I'm just like, if I already left the house one time today, I'm like, no. I'm sorry, I'm not Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I can't do a ton of things all at once. Are you kidding? No, I've already done something today. Like, so he was very accurate.
I love how much you've given this pet psychic. This pet psychic is like thousands of dollars, like thousands and thousands of dollars.
She does have a vacation home because of me.
I mean, by the way, this other psychic really blew it with you. Like, if she had said like 3 nice things, she could have taken you for like thousands.
traumatized me, Ryan. Like, and like Cynthia already, like, I mean, Cynthia was already wealthy before because she's a very successful businesswoman, but it's like, I will be with
By the way, Cynthia,
forever.
your therapist, a very successful businesswoman, not an actual therapist, which is a fun fact.
Oh, she keeps asking what a podcast I should send of us together. And I'm just like, I don't know.
Send this one. I think this one is the one. I think all 7 parts of this will be the one. So anyways, Kevin, in a very
I
honest,
want you to know, no matter what happens, I appreciate you.
I'm doing my one thing today. No, I got like 8 things today. Kevin goes, I didn't mean it. If you come back, I'll never be a pain in the butt again. I promise. Good night. And he kisses a portrait of his family and puts it under his pillow. And then the next morning, Kevin's singing in the mirror and he puts on aftershave again, this old bit, and screams in agony. He didn't learn the first time.
Like repeating the same bit. I didn't realize there was so much screaming.
But he's so cute that it's like, I think it's like entertaining. Like I would do that and it wouldn't be funny anymore, but it's still like, cute.
This is like, this is like a legitimate question. I'm not trying to be like, what does, like, do you use aftershave? Like, what does aftershave do? Like, is that like a stuff people use now?
I don't think people, I mean, it exists, but no, I mean, like I just put on cologne or my natural body odor.
I was going to say, I do see like you, like Matthew McConaughey, where I'm just like, nope, deodorant, like
all natural, baby. All right. We all know Matthew McConaughey doesn't shower. Like there's not even a doubt in my mind that he's like, but he said that in his book. He's like, all natural, baby. I came from the earth. I'm going to go to the earth, baby. All right. In between Time to Kill, I had to choose which movie I was going to do next. And I had a lot of scripts. So I took a bunch of ecstasy and went to the jungles of Argentina. And then and there, I figured I would do Contact with Miss Judy Foster. All right.
He's the best advertisement for a toothbrush.
Green light.
Remember when he used to be like skateboarding around with the toothbrush in his mouth? And I'm just like, oh, he made brushing your teeth look cool. It's not, but he made it look cool.
Dude, I tell you, that's like one of my favorite audiobook experiences is Matthew McConaughey's Green Lights. It's great. It's great. He takes himself so seriously. I love it. And
what was the most ridiculous part of, like, what was the thing that surprised, like the most insane part that you read, that you listened to?
He was a foreign exchange student in college and he went to live with a family in Australia. And it was like a really weird family, but he was also super weird. And he had a lot of like run-ins with the dad. And like he got like really, he would just have like one salad a day and he got like really skinny and he would like enjoy like hour-long bathtub sessions. And like it was just like turned him into a whole different person. But he was like, that struggle like taught him so. I shit you not. It's like really bizarre. It's like a bizarre, it's bizarre. And then his career is bizarre because he kind of fell into acting in a way. Like he showed up at like this audition. Like it was just happenstance. It's just wild. And it kind of set him on this whole path. But like he would write these long meandering, like poetic letters to people. And like he really, it's very interesting. There's like a real artist in there, but it's like, also, he'll probably be our president one day. Like, they said, remember when they thought he was going to run?
I mean, at first I was just like, you know what? Aren't you getting enough from these Lincoln commercials? Isn't that enough for you? Like, do you need it?
When you're driving on the road. All right,
Ryan, I would love for you to do, can you please reenact? I want that to be another Patreon level. Can we submit commercials for you to reenact?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Lincoln. There's nothing like driving at night going 75 in your Lincoln Suburban. Oh my God. Okay. So anyways, Kevin's back at the grocery store and he's asking the lady, hey, are these microwave dinners good? And she's like, I don't know. And he's like, I'll give them a whirl. And then he holds up these action figures, little toy army. He's like, for the kids. And then Kelly scans the orange juice, the checkout girl. And she's like, hold on, I got a coupon for that. And Kevin hands Kelly the coupon and he goes, it was in the paper this morning. And, she pays and she goes, are you all by yourself? And it's like, no, ma'am, I'm 8 years old. You think I'd be here alone? I don't think so. Where's your mom? My mom's in the car. Where's your father? He's at work. What about your brothers and sisters? I'm an only child. Where do you live? I can't tell you that. Why not? Because you're a stranger. And then we cut to Kevin walking home with the groceries.
I want to be like, listen, lady, like I'm a fucking latchkey kid. Stop asking me. Just take my fucking money. Like,
well, finally, finally, one person in this fucking movie seems to care and ask a little kid a question of where's your parents? Look at you. You're like, oh, fine. This lady could have cracked the case.
Who are you, a Trader Joe's employee? You don't need my whole life story.
It is weird, though. Like, why wouldn't have this made the local news? Like, a young kid has been home alone. But I guess it's only been a day, right? Like, it's only like 2 days. Like, the entire time was like over a weekend. Like, right? Like, it wasn't that long.
It wasn't that long at all. It was like, what? It was.
This took place over 1 year. It would have been funny if this was like Groundhog's Day, like a Home Alone Groundhog's Day, where he wakes up and then like Kevin learns French and he's like at the end,
I've also never seen that movie, which is, I love Bill Murray.
Oh my God. Groundhog's Day is amazing. I would never recap that movie with you. It's too, and like the repeating scenes in that would be insane. Kevin goes down to the laundry and the furnace is making noise like the devil again. And Kevin goes, shut up. And the furnace stops making devil noises. Like he faces his fear while he's doing laundry. And it was great. And
like my brave little toaster moment where he was just like, that was like, like a scary appliance. But
I think those are I used to do that when I was a kid. This was before Home Alone. I would run into the house with my parents, or I was a latchkey kid. I'd be like, I've got a big gun. I would like announce myself when I came into my house, just in case any burglars were in there, they would know a kid was packing a gun, And
then you would hear them laughing hysterically and they're like, oh no, this family this family is already sad enough. We can't take anything. Sorry,
but
kid.
I was also like, I did that thing where I would like pretended I was stabbed one time when my parents walked in. I like played dad and put ketchup over myself.
Yeah. I like that you say it like it's like a normal thing. Like
that thing kids do where they pour
when you pretend you're dead and you put corn syrup. What is it? Corn syrup and red. What is that?
No, it was ketchup. For me, it was ketchup. But by the way, that worked on my dad last Thanksgiving. I did the same thing where I acted like I go, oh, I'm going to get a glass of wine. And then I came out and I had ketchup all over my hands. I was like, ah. And my dad's like, oh no, oh God.
I thought he was like, Becky, we always knew it would happen. All right. Yeah. I did that one time with red paint, and then when I was like young, like 33, like super young. And like then I realized it was like, oh, I almost killed RJ. Like where that would be like my fear of like if I tried to like that would be it.
Yeah, no.
And it was like before my birthday party. And I was just like, oh my God, this is such a bad idea. Like he could have almost ruined my birthday party, Ryan. We're like, 2 people showed up. It was a huge success. I was just like, oh no, like that could have gone really badly.
You did not kill RJ, so you're good.
No, not then.
Yeah,
no.
Not yet.
But I think that very shows a lot of restraint of you using ketchup. Ketchup has never I will eat ketchup like as a meal, like it's not.
Yeah, it's not even. It's not. Yeah, I love my feelings for ketchup go way back, so it's not even. It's always been there for me, ketchup, and I use ketchup on everything. It's a powerful cough medicine as well. Anyways, the burglars, Marv and Harry are back outside, and they're trying to get in again, and Marv's like at the end, and Marv goes, shit. And Kevin's like, oh no, they're here. And Kevin recognizes, while he's doing the dishes that they're coming around the side of the house. And then Kevin goes back to this damn VHS tape, this Angels with Filthy Souls. And he's like, get the hell out of here. And Snakes is like, all right, Johnny, but what about my money? AC said you had some dough for me. Is that a fact? How much do I owe you? AC said 10%. Too bad AC ain't in charge no more. What do you mean? And then Kevin takes a pot from the kitchen and puts it near the door opening. He's upstairs taking a bath. He'll call you when he gets out. Hey, I tell you what I'm going to give you, Snakes. And Kevin puts the firecrackers and a torch in the fire pot. And Marv goes, Snakes? And Johnny goes, I'm going to give you the count of 10 to get you ugly, yellow, no good, keist off my property before I pump your guts full of lead. All right, Johnny, I'm sorry. I'm going. 1, 2, 10, and the firecrackers go off, and he's like, keep the change, you filthy animal.
You know,
and
it's a scarier Angel movie.
Angels in the Outfield?
No, Angels in America.
I love a good Angels in America joke. Only a good 1% of the audience will know what that is. Harry's like, what happened? And Mom's like, I don't know who, but somebody just got blown away. Somebody beat us to the job. They're in there. 2 of them. There was arguing. One blew the other one away. And he's like, who? I don't know. I thought I recognized one of their voices, and I heard that name Snakes before. And Harry's like, snakes. I don't know no snakes. Snakes. Let's get out of here. And Harry's like, hold it. Let's wait and see who it is. We work this neighborhood too. Supposing the cops finger us for a job and they start asking us questions about a murder in the area, wouldn't it be nice to have a face to go with the questions? That's a good idea, Harry. Of course it's a good idea. Snakes. He sounded like a snake. Anyways, so the agent, we're back in Paris, and Kate's like, God damn it, I need to get home. And the agent's like, I'm sorry. It's like a button, that classic, airplane overwork day. It's like, I'm sorry, ma'am. We can't do anything for you.
He's not having any of her sob story.
Well, she's here in Scranton now. She's like, where the hell even am I? And he's like, Scranton, ma'am. And she's like, I am trying to get home to my 8-year-old son. And now that I'm this close, you're telling me it's hopeless. This is Christmas. This is a season of perpetual hope. And I don't care if I have to get on your runway and hitchhike. If it costs me everything I own, I have to sell my soul to the devil himself. I'm going to get home to my son. Do it. She goes, do it. Do anything. Do it. And Gus, played by John Candy, who is just one of the finest actor. I just would have loved to have seen what he would be doing today. Like, he would be playing funny grandpa role. He's just,
I love him so much. Like, I find him incredibly how can you not love?
He's just amazing. Amazing. He's like, can you excuse us for a sec, please? Can I see you for a second, please? Excuse us. I couldn't help but hear you got a little bit of a dilemma there. We got a crisis ourselves. Allow me to introduce myself, Gus Polinski. How are you? And he's like, Polka King of the Midwest. The Kenosha Kickers? That's okay. I thought you might have reckoned. Anyways, I had a few hits a few years ago. That's why, polka, no? Okay. Twin Legs Polka, Yamahuzi Polka, AKA Kiss Me Polka, Polka Twist. Anyways,
and she's like, these are songs. Yeah. Like, she's just like, and I guess that whole, all of their scenes were like improvised because they are like masters.
Yeah. Like they were in Second City together. They did SCTV, which was like
those Canadians are talented.
Yeah, I mean, truly.
They're just like infinitely better than us in everything.
She's like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, they were songs. Some fairly big hits for us, in the early 70s. Yeah, we sold about 623 copies of that. And Kate goes, in Chicago? And he goes, no, Sheboygan. Yeah, very big in Sheboygan. They love us. She's like, I'm sorry, did you say you could help me? Anyway, I'm rambling on here. Our flight was canceled, so we got to drive. See the guy in the yellow jacket over there. He's going to rent us a nice big van, and we're going to drive to Milwaukee. Now, I heard you had some problems getting to Chicago to see your kid or something. And he's like, my son, we left. He goes, oh, geez, if you have to get to Chicago, we'll gladly drive you. It's on the way to Milwaukee. And so they offer to give her a ride if she doesn't mind going with some polka bums. And we cut back to McAllister's house, and they look. I would have taken.
Would you have taken? Like, I would have taken that. I would have taken polka people, no problem. Somebody was like, if you don't mind riding with, a bunch of Christian rock singers, I'd been like, I'm good. Actually,
yeah.
He can wait.
You know what?
He can wait another week or so. I don't need it. Like, I'd rather take a trip with fucking, I hope you don't mind, riding with a bunch of juggalos than if I was riding with a fucking Christian rock group. But I'm fine. I'm good.
Yeah, no,
what group would you not ride with? Like, what would be like a music that you were like, I can't do it. It was like, listen, we're just going to play the podcast Adderall and compliments the whole time. I hope
I think it would be like, that's a great question. Like,
it's the only type of questions I ask, Ryan.
It's a really hard hitting. No, it would. Christian rock would
Ronan
be one.
Farrow, but more important.
I think pop country is really somebody in the pop country field would be hard for me potentially.
Like stadium country, like Keith Urban.
No, I love Garth Brooks, as you know, but I think what
about if you were riding with Garth Brooks? What if Brooks?
That's the other Ryan Bailey. I think What is it? Not Brooks and Dunn, but what are those other goofballs?
What's pop country? What's pop country?
Pop country is like where it's like power chords, and it's like not like Johnny Cash or, like kind of more like, alternative country. I'm trying to think what would be.
I was gonna say, I'm like, Johnny Cash isn't a good.
Listen, I mean, to tell you the truth, I'd probably
fucking Ouija board. No,
I'd probably do a ride with anybody. Like I don't think there's anybody that I would.
Or you got like, oh, what is it? What's the one who does like Save a Horse Ride? Was it Brooks and Dunn? Brooks and Dunn.
Well, I said Brooks and Dunn a second ago, but there's another. They're always like teams of like one has like really bleached hair, and then one has like a curly Q mustache. Like they're always like weirdly dressed, and you're like, oh shit, like that's an actual thing that's insanely popular. And you're like, I have no concept of what this is.
What about Rascal Flatts?
That's what I'm thinking. Rascal Flatts. That's what I was thinking of. Rascal Flatts. You a rascal. Is one guy's name Rascal and the other Flats? Oh, Flats. Oh, stop it, Rascal.
I thought they were the ones who originally sang the Life is a Highway song. And then
they did the remake. Tom Cochran did the original.
I learned that they weren't even the ones who sang like Life is, which I thought was like a horrible song in general, but I'm like, oh my God,
it's a great song.
Horrible song.
Tom Cochran wrote Life is a Highway, and then it was remade by
Tom Cochran?
Yeah, this guy Tom Cochran in the
like with the C or Hawk.
Yes, see, it was like 90. What came out 1994. It was in the same year as like Bitch by Meredith Brooks.
Like who is?
I'm a bitch. I
love that song. I bought that cassette.
Yeah, but it was I think in that same time frame for music. Tom Cochran, Cochrane. I'm almost positive, but that was like his big hit.
Is he related to Johnny Cochran?
No, he's white. He was like a white British dude, I think.
Of course, that's why you're a fan of him. I should know.
Tom Cochran. Let me see. I think I'm remembering this correctly. Oh my God, he's a Canadian musician.
Oh, of course. Oh, well,
he's almost 70 years old, and yeah, he did "Life is a Highway." I ride it all night long. Yeah. Anyways, Marv and Harry are trying to break in again, or like they're walking to see who the kid, and they notice it's a kid, and Marv's like, oh, and Harry's like, look at this. I think we're getting scammed by a kindergartner. And Kevin sees Joe Pesci in the like little ornament that he's putting on the tree. And Kevin's like, Dad, can you come here and help me? And Harry's like, remember that kid we saw the other day? He lives here. And Marv's like, if the kid's here, the parents got to be here. And Harry shakes his head. He's like, he's home alone, which is also the title of the movie that we started 8 hours ago. And then we cut to Marv and Harry walk into the van. And he's like, Marv's like, what? You want to come back tonight? And Harry's like, uh-huh. Even with the kid here? Uh-huh. I don't think that's a good idea. Look, this house is the only reason why we started working this block in the first place. Ever since I laid eyes on that house, I wanted it. So let's take it one step at a time. And Kevin overhears all this. He's like, we'll unload the van. We'll get a bite to eat. We'll come back about 9 o'clock. And Kevin's like, 9 o'clock. And this way it's dark then. And Marv's like, yeah, kids get scared of the dark. You're afraid of the dark too, Marv. You know you are. No, I'm not. Yeah, you are. Not. You are so. And Kevin goes, Mom, where are you?
Afraid of the show. Are you afraid of the dark? Because that was a genuinely scary show that I was terrified of.
It was scary, some of it, yeah.
Did you ever see the episode where she turns into a chameleon in the shower?
No.
And she dies as like a gecko, as a lizard. I'm not kidding. Like it's like a twin thing, and she dies as like a not a cute one, like the Geico gecko. It was like a bad. I was like, horrifying. She was just like, listen, she was making that much money in commercial residuals. He's actually like such a cute, like that. Like he's so cute. But no, that show is like genuinely. Those are a bunch of scary Canadians. I look back now, it's like if you hear them, like the like their accents, it's like they're dripping maple syrup. But it's
you're doing there, boy.
Scary at the time.
We cut to Kate, Kevin's mom, in the back of the U-Haul truck with Gus and the Kenosha Kickers, and they have like a cute little conversation. That's where she is right now. And then
you do their conversation. Will you tell them their conversation?
Well, because we cut to Kevin walking outside, he meets an elf, and like Kevin goes to meet Santa Claus to ask for help. and to ask, like, to get his parents back. And they've closed up shop for the night. But then this is actually really cute. She brings the kid over to this Santa named Chris, and
he's getting into like his Chevy Impala or something.
Yeah.
Like just gotten like a parking ticket. She was like, I think you can catch him. Like before
Kevin's like, Santa, hold on. Can I talk to you for a minute? And he goes, make it quick. Santa's got a little get together he's late for. And Kevin's like, okay, I know you're not the real Santa Claus. And Chris is like, what makes you say that? Just out of curiosity. And Kevin goes, I'm old enough to know how it works, but I also know you work for him. I'd like you to give him a message, which I thought was very smart writing, because it was like admitting that like kids seeing this movie are probably old enough to realize something's up, but still believe in Santa Claus a lot of the times. And like, there is a thing that parents like try to hold on to this lie so tightly that they're like, you know what? I remember my mom told me I help Santa Claus. Like that was the first, when I found out, she was like, well, Santa does exist, but we help him.
Did I ask Jeff, or was it you? Like, what age did you find out about him?
About Jeff? I don't know. A couple of years ago on Instagram, he was showing his pubes on Instagram like he tends to do.
No, it was Santa.
Probably like 12 or 11, probably in that time frame. 11, probably. Maybe, probably 11, I bet. What about you?
Like what age are you? I don't know. What age are you like in third grade? Like I remember I was like the last one out of like people in my like class or like friends to get it.
You
like where Nancy was like, this is embarrassing at this point. It's like, you're the last one who believes. So it's like, there's no Santa. And I'm like, it's like I came out of that psychic. I was just like, my entire worldview like had changed.
Yeah. You're devastated. Yeah. No. Did you? Yeah. I mean, I kind of carried on pretty bravely. I was like, I still get the gifts. Like the gifts don't change. The gifts stay the same. You're telling me the gifts stay the same. And I don't have to believe, I don't have to sit on the dude's lap anymore. Like you're like, like that sounds okay with me. And then I wasn't allowed to tell my sister.
You're like, old men keep asking me to still sit on their lap. And I'm just like, okay. And Bill and Becky were fine with it. But
no, I've never, realized. I wish.
But they never brought me, Nancy, I guess, brought me to the mall once, or I guess like my aunt, who they no longer speak to, brought me to the mall once, and Nancy like was like so upset when she found out. But like they never brought me to like the mall to like do like that Santa thing ever.
Why?
Like I guess like she was just like against it. Like I know that now it's like a thing where people are like post like all the pictures where like they're like kids are crying or like poor, but yeah, Nancy was like never like that was like I don't think I have any pictures with Santa. Maybe if it had been like a more of a Father Christmas instead of like a Rudolph Santa, like I would have had pictures. But I had nothing. She put me. I was like, I have a bunch of pictures with Krampus, though. She brought me to take pictures with him every year.
Okay, so Kevin's like, okay, so this is extremely important. Would you please tell him I'm Kevin McAllister, 76? Ryan's gonna kill me. Do you have to pee again?
No, I just feel badly for you. Like watching Ryan. You really could be a kindergarten.
I'm not. I really am not.
Like Ryan,
I could be a kindergarten. No, here's what I thought. I thought about this specifically yesterday. It's podcasting gold for like a lot of it's podcasting gold, but it's like working with a bucking bronco. Like it's it's like you just have to hold on. You can't control. You got to let it just ride the wave. Just ride the wave. Just see, because at a certain point you're not going to be able to control it. So you just try to like enjoy it while it lasts, and it's riding the wave. So, and I'm still holding to this stupid notion that I'm going to like finish the movie, that I'm going to like finish.
You're still chasing that dragon.
I'm chasing the dragon, that I'm going to finish a movie you've all seen before and know by heart. He says, I'm Kevin McAllister, 671 Lincoln Boulevard. Okay, this is extremely important. Would you please tell him instead of presents this year, I just want my family back. No toys, nothing but Peter, Kate, Buzz, Megan, Lenny, and Jeff, and my aunts and my cousins. And if he has time, my Uncle Frank. Okay. And, he gives the kid a couple Tic Tacs because he doesn't have any more candy canes on him. It's a cute scene, but also this is another opportunity for an adult to be like, "Where's your family, kid? Like, what's going on? Like, tell me the real shit." Like, about
here,
9 p.m. There's a couple burglars coming
from my pocket.
Yeah. So then he goes in. Okay, we're gonna super speed after this scene. This is the last scene I will fully read. And Kevin's in church, and it's like a really creepy, empty church where there's like a full fucking choir of kids singing. Only like 7 people.
This is a creepy church. I think
only 7 people, 7 or 8 people in the audience. One of them is Kevin. And old man Marley goes, he's across, and he like looks at Kevin, nods, and old man Marley comes closer to him. And he's like, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. And Kevin has a confused look on his face. He's like, may I sit down? There's my granddaughter up there, the little redhead girl. She's about your age, you know what? And Kevin's like, no, you live next to me, don't you? And Kevin nods. Well, you can say hello when you see me. You don't have to be afraid. There's a lot of things going on around about me, but none of it's true, okay? And Kevin nods and he goes, you been a good boy this year? I think so. You got a tight little buttock? No, he goes, you swear to it? He goes, you swear to it?
You've been a good boy? Do you not want to be? Yeah. I can help you.
Well, I like bad boys too. Yeah.
Like there's a lot of things going on about me that aren't true. I never said that about Jewish women. I promise.
I know this.
Stop those rumors.
I know this one bad boy, the bad boy of podcasting, little thick legs on a tiny little wiener, and it's
all taped up, and you can't do it.
Little kid tapes up his urethra. Old man Marley he goes, you swear to being a good kid? And Kevin goes, no. He goes, I had a feeling. Well, this is the place to be if you're feeling bad about yourself. And Kevin goes, it is? I think so.
Church can make you feel worse about yourself.
And Kevin goes, are you feeling bad about yourself? And old man Marley's like, no. And Kevin's like, well, I've been kind of a pain lately. I said some things I shouldn't have. I really haven't been too good this year. I spread a lot of vaccine misinformation. And old man Marley's like, yeah. And Kevin's like, I'm kind of upset because I really like my family, even though sometimes I say I don't. Sometimes I even think I don't. Do you get that? He goes, I think so. How you feel about your family is a complicated thing, especially with an older brother. Well, deep down, you'll always love them, but you can forget that you love them. You can hurt them, and they can hurt you. And
look at just John Bonet and her older brother.
Shut up.
Things can go very well.
In the blink of an eye, you can make one, and then you have to deposit $57,000 into a bank account. That's not just because you're young. You want to know the real reason why? You want to know the real reason why I'm here right now? And Kevin goes, sure. I came to hear my granddaughter sing, and I can't come hear her tonight. And Kevin's like, you have plans? No, I'm not welcome. At church? No, you're always welcome at church. I'm not welcome with my son. Years back, before you and your family moved on the block, I had an argument with my son. How old is he? He's grown up. We lost our tempers, and I said I didn't care to see him anymore. He said the same. And we haven't spoken to each other since. Well, if you miss him, why don't you call him? Why don't you shut up, little kid?
Well, he told me he was a homosexual, and I'm not gonna stand for that.
I know that flim-flamsy homosexual stuff. I'm not into it. He goes, I'm afraid if I call my son, he won't talk to me. And he goes, how do you know? Well, I don't know. I'm just afraid he won't. No offense, but aren't you a little old to be afraid? Well, you can be a little old for a lot of things. You're never too old to be afraid. And Kevin goes, that's true. I've always been afraid of our basement. It's dark. There's weird stuff down there, and it smells. That's like that sort of thing.
Smells like you a little bit, actually. Yeah, but don't worry, I'll take it down to your basement. I'd like to see it.
Yes, sometimes we all have basements within ourselves. No, he goes, Kevin goes, it's bothered me for years. Basements are like that. Well, I made myself go down and do some laundry, and I found out it's not so bad. All this time I've been worried about it, but if you turn on the lights, it's no big deal. What's your point? My point is you should call your son. What if he won't talk to me? At least you'll know. Then you can stop worrying about it. Then you won't have to be afraid anymore. I don't care how mad I was. I'd talk to my dad, especially around the holidays. Well, I don't know. Well, just give it a shot for your granddaughter anyway. I'm sure she misses you and the presents. Well, I send her a check. Well, I wish my grandparents did that. They always send me clothes. Last year, I got a sweater with a big bird knitted on it. Oh, that's nice. Not for a guy in the second grade. You can get.
He goes, don't worry. I'd never send you clothes. I'd never tell you to put clothes on. Any day, I'd tell you the opposite. You don't have to put on clothes. We can go down to your basement.
Cops, you have the address. You have Annabelle's address. Old man Marley's like, he goes, yeah, I have a friend who got nailed because there was a rumor he wore dinosaur PJs. And old man Marley's like, you better run along where you belong. Think about what I said. All right. And Kevin goes,
you
okay.
Better show me your PJs so I can make sure they're not, don't have dinosaurs.
Old man Marley goes, it was nice talking to you. And Kevin's like, nice talking to you. And Kevin goes, what about you? And he goes, me? Yeah, you and your son. Well, we'll see what happens. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. And then he goes to the house. He goes, this is my house. I have to defend it. And then all of a sudden he's worked on this like battle plan, this drawing that like is very involved. Like
There's
it's like all the
colors and it looks
there's like
it's like the Mean Girls, like the thing that Janice Ian draws of the cafeteria of like, it's like all the different things, but there's different rooms. He has an evacuation. He has it's like a safe house. It's like, he's ready for the purge.
This kid is really artistically like, so we get to this whole like sequence where like, you know, we see a tarantula crawling. Kevin grabs a soldering iron off the grill. Kevin spills water on the stairs outside to make him ice. He's putting little toy cars around. He's putting tar in the basement steps. He's like tapping in a nail. He has a rope attached to him as he climbs a ladder to his tree house. There's all this like shit happening. He's placing ornaments.
Did you know
everywhere.
anyone with a tree house? I feel like that is I feel like that's a movie.
Yeah. The Mulcahy's next door. And
the one that you were in love with?
No, that was Rachel Beaker. Mary Mulcahy, the Mulcahy's next door, Patrick Mulcahy.
Oh, that's the mom who like cut everyone else out and was like, my daughter's going instead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They had a treehouse. And I remember when they were building it, that was like what I said, like kids with tree houses. Like I remember thinking, oh my God, I heard the treehouse and I was like, oh my God, we can make it like 3 or 4 rooms. We put it underground. Like in your head, you don't understand.
You were thinking of like Swiss Family Robinson.
Oh yeah. I was there. I was like, okay. I was like, how much does a couch cost? Like, will we have cable in there? Like I was thinking of like a separate facility and I would daydream about this. Like, and then like, this is even before I'm alone. I would be like, how can I get a rope from my house to the treehouse where I could just go directly in there? And it just turned out to be like, 4 pieces of wood. Like, I mean, it was like so basic, but it was cool, but like, it wasn't what I had envisioned,
Yeah. It doesn't sound up to code. It doesn't sound like the Mulcahy's, got the approval from it.
Someplace where people couldn't hear you scream. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, there was so much rope and duct tape and.
So anyway, so he does all this stuff. Kevin takes out his macaroni cheese out of the microwave, eats like a nice Christmas meal. A lot of dairy. There's like a glass of milk, the mac and cheese, and then Harry.
Such a hard milk push. Do you remember like the Got Milk ads, like with the Olsen twins and stuff? And I'm like, it was just such a gross. It's so.
I think the milk industry took a huge hit, especially with the invention of almond milk and all the oat milk. I think really California doesn't even have real milk anymore. I think. Good.
It should be outlawed. I'm sure that Aaron, what's his name, who's Denise's husband, is again. It's like, oh, don't talk about big dairy. Big
dairy's following me right now.
So it looked fucking disgusting. Who had milk besides your parents on their first? That's insane. My parents met at her sister's funeral, and even I think your thing is weirder. That your parents
got married at Halloween.
No. Oh my God, your parents got married on Halloween. I'm so jealous.
Yeah. They only did that because it was cheaper. It wasn't because they're like Halloween freaks or anything like that. Like,
oh my God, no, that is my dream to be married on Halloween. No, I think my parents met at her sister's funeral, and I think your parents met your milk.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that in one of the first of these. I think was
that your parents met on the first date.
Yeah.
Crazy that's insane to me.
It was a different time. It was, right before Vietnam. It was interesting. Kids would go on dates, drink milk. That would be awesome if you pulled that. A guy pulled that on a date, like ordered a glass and be like, "Oh, she'll have a champagne and I'll have a glass of milk."
I would truly. I'd be like, "I'm sorry, I have to use the restroom."
Would it reverse be like, this guy's an independent thinker. This guy's really interesting.
I like to say that I'd be like, oh, no way. But considering the people I've dated, I'd just be like, I like to think that I have like any standard. We would be like, no, not cool. If somebody dated an indoor homeless man, I don't know why I think I'm above milk. Yeah. I've been like, oh, he can afford milk. Okay.
Yeah. By the way, this is the people you date this time of year. They're mall Santas, so you'd be alone most of the time.
They're mall Santas, or they're the old men in church who can't be children.
Well, that's very interesting about older ladies. Yeah. Let me see. Podcasting, you say? That's very interesting. May I see one of your tatas? Anyways, Kevin like finishes his meal and he's like, he goes and gets Buzz's BB gun and he's like, don't get scared now. And Marv and Harry enter the back. They're trying to enter the back door. Harry knocks on the door. He's like, Merry Christmas, little fella. We know that you're in there, that you're all alone. And Marv's like, yeah, come on, kid, open up. It's Santa Claus and his elf. We're not going to hurt you. No, we got some nice presents for you. Be a good little fella now and open the door. And they're like, hee. And Kevin, we see the gun like stick out of the dog door. And
where's this dog? Probably because Kevin killed it.
Kevin ate the dog on first. By the way, the dog, wait, that is a good, where is the dog?
Where is the dog?
So Kevin shoots Marv in the forehead because like Harry.
It's a very slow, it's like a Kyle Rittenhouse, like glory hole. Like that's how you can tell this movie was not made today because it would be like a real AK-47. But it's like through the dog door and you see just this like gun slowly like out through this glory hole.
So
and then
funny.
It slowly goes to his like Joe Pesci's throat. And
by the way, the Ryan Bailey version of this movie, you'd see a boner stick out and get bigger. The porn star Ryan Bailey, not me, Ryan Bailey.
I was going to say, how would yours get through this fucking dog door, Ryan?
It's called Boner Alone. Yeah. And anyways, he BB shoots him, but now I'm thinking it's funnier if it was like an actual gun and the two burglars just die. Like it's boom, boom, and Marv's like, this little jerk is armed. And Harry's like, that's it. I'm going in the front. You go down the basement. And Marv slips and falls down the stair. Like he's iced these stairs. So they're both like comedy ensues. They're trying to get in there. It's hysterical. And then he also heated up the doorknob on the front door. So when Marv does get there, he puts his hand on the doorknob and he brands himself with a big M for McAllister on his hand, which comes into play in Home Alone 2. Lost in New York.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, which like was a meme like, oh my God, he was like, he pulled like a Pete Davidson. Now he's permanently branded like
and he goes, and Marv's hand says, my girl's a lawyer. Kevin goes, yes. Kevin's all excited that he's harming these two older men. And Marv,
he's getting on his little boner, his bone alone.
Marv gets into the basement finally. He takes off his shoes and socks because he's going up the stairs and he's painted tar on it. And then he's getting up like one at a time, like losing his shoes, his socks, all that. And then Marv steps on a nail and falls on the basement floor. So funny. Oh man, it's like really, it's like really physical comedy.
It is visceral. Like when you see it, you're like, oh, like, yeah. Oh.
But it continues because then like Harry gets in and he opens the door and like he's like, you're dead, kid. And Harry pulls a string. Harry opens the door, which pulls a string and turns on a blowtorch on top of the cupboard and lights Harry's head on fire. And Harry screams in agony, which, by the way, I will say this. There is an article that I just read the other day where Joe Pesci said he got permanent damage from the stunts with the hair in Home Alone.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Joe Pesci does not look like somebody who would be fun on set. Like
Okay, this was December 1st, 2022. Joe Pesci says he got serious burns to his head in iconic Home Alone scene. This just came out. It says Home Alone, but this is Home Alone 2 because they do the same burn prank in Home Alone 2. Okay. Joe Pesci, who portrayed criminal Harry Lime, is now 79 years old, and the movie turns 30 this year. In the second installment, spoiler alert, he, gets burned with a blowtorch and he has to put his head, he gets burned and has to put his head in the toilet. But Kevin has put flammable liquid in the toilet. So he puts his head in the toilet and it even lights up bigger on fire and sets his beanie on fire. And in the second film, so his head's again, and he goes Joe Pesci said, in addition to the expected bumps and bruises and general pains that you would associate with a particular type of physical humor, I did sustain serious burns to the top of my head during the scene where Harry's hat is set on fire. I was fortunate enough to have professional stuntmen do the real heavy stunts. Pesci also said that he did everything he could to make sure that the on-screen tumultuous relationship between Harry, Marv, and Kevin was believable. I intentionally limited my interactions with Macaulay Culkin to preserve the dynamic between his character Kevin and my character Harry. People saying he didn't want to come across on the screen that we are in any way friendly. I wanted to maintain the integrity of the adversarial relationship, Joe Pesci said. That's way too dark because it still comes off jokey. Like it doesn't come like I'm never worried for Kevin,
Yeah, it's not home invade. Like he doesn't. I feel like they picked like the perfect looking guys.
Like,
where
who's
you're
an
like,
actor
oh,
with no
these are
sense? Who's an actor with no sense of humor?
like that doesn't air. Somebody who I would not take as like he was kidding would be like what's the one who has like the weird who was like with if Paul Giamatti was breaking into my house, I'd be like, oh no, I'm dead. Like he looks like somebody who he looks like. Who would you pick as somebody who's like, this is not a person who is fun at all?
Trying to think who's not who. I mean, I know there seems to be like there should be an obvious answer here, but I'm trying to think who would not be like, oh, this isn't funny at all. This is just really creepy. Like who's like back in the day, like who was that dad on Big Love? Not Bill Paxton, but the old creepy Mormon guy. He's like a very famous.
I thought it was Bill Paxton on.
No, he is the main dad who was married to all the ladies. But remember the father, the grandfather, the father.
Oh, I didn't watch it. Oh, I was going to say Kevin Spacey, but that was like more
Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey breaking into a
kid's house. Yeah, Kevin Spacey would be. No, he would actually probably be good at this, but because he was in that movie The Ref, which you probably haven't seen, that he was like pretty funny as a burglar. I'm trying to. I don't know. I gotta, who is just no sense of like Tom Cruise couldn't play this. Like Tom Cruise would go serious. Tom Cruise doesn't seem to have like
he's the size of fucking Macaulay Culkin. So I don't know if it would.
Who would be this? Like, would it be like Robert De Niro? Would it be?
Well, the thing is, did you see that Robert De Niro was almost like he was one of the people who was like up for this role?
Oh, really?
Turned it down. And it's
no
like now, if this came out now, Robert De Niro will take fucking any job. Like,
Robert De Niro wound up in the Rocky and Bullwinkle film. Like years ago,
that fucking movie with Zac Efron and like that, like I would not be surprised if here's a 2023 prediction. I would not be surprised if we see him as Colonel Sanders in a KFC commercial. I do not doubt that. Like he will take any job right.
Wait, you know who would actually probably play one of these guys in an update? Michael Rappaport. But it would like, he has like that kind of like Joe Pesci, like, you little kid, where you don't really
a mix between.
You're not like really ever scared. You're not scared of Michael Rappaport ever. Like you're just.
I'm scared of his opinions on Erica Jane. How he's such a stand for her. I'm scared of that.
Anyways, these guys are getting like just thrashed by Macaulay Culkin. What's going on? Did a spirit enter your room? What's going on? You having a stroke?
No, there was just like a really loud. So,
if you could get murdered during this would be so good for the. This would be good for the guys. Part 4 is where it gets really good. Annabelle gets murdered in.
No, there was like a very loud noise, like a. Okay.
Psychic would have born. The psychic would have born.
I was going to say, I'm just like, listen, it could be like, was it on Days of Our Life? There was like Luke and Laura, where originally he was like her rapist, and then they got married. Like, maybe
your parents are there.
Well, if they're moving, then there's a really big problem. Then I really have to go take care of something. Right?
Anyways, Kevin keeps taunting these burglars like, oh, no, I'm really scared. And Harry's like, it's too late for you, kid. We're in the house. We're going to get you. And Kevin's like, okay, come and get me. And Kevin flips a notch of the fan and runs away. And Harry goes, why you? And he walks into a glued plastic wrap. And then he goes, now you're dead. And then the string turns on the fan that blows feathers into his face. We cut to Marv entering the house from the window. He steps on the ornaments on the floor. Marv screams in agony. And Marv and Harry finally find each other. And Harry's like, why the hell did you take your shoes off? And Marv's like, why the hell are you dressed like a chicken? And Kevin's like, I'm up here, you morons. Come and get me. Harry and Marv slip on a bunch of toy cars at the front of the stairs. You guys give up, or are you thirsty for more? And then
Marv's like, he's barefoot, like he's fucking David Byrne from the Talking Heads. He's just like walking around.
What? Wait, what a reference! Wow, I love that. Like you've not seen most like movies, but you're like, oh, like Stop Making Sense with David Byrne from the Talking Heads, 1978, directed by Jonathan Demme. It just really stood with me. As the days go by,
I was gonna say, just because I know that
song. The same as it ever was. Kevin. Kevin's like, heads up, and he throws
my
paint.
Beautiful house.
This is not where I left my kid. This is not my beautiful wife who's trying to get home in a U-Haul van. Marv goes, anyways, these cans of paint get smacked into their face. And Kevin's like, yes. And Marv's like, he's only a kid, Harry. We can take him. Shut up, will you? And Harry goes, what is it? And Marv's like, you're missing some teeth. And Harry's like, where? It's my gold tooth. My gold tooth. I'll kill him. And you bomb me with one more can, I'll snap off your cojones and boil them in motor oil. And this is when Kevin, which what he should have done the whole time, dials 911. 911. And it's like, hello, my house is being robbed. My address is 656 Lincoln Boulevard. My name is Murphy. And we cut to the hallway.
Why did you have to change your voice for 911?
I don't know. They send the cop to the other house. He sends the cop across the street.
Oh, I did not get that.
Yeah, the Murphy's house.
Oh, because he enjoys torturing these men so fucking much that he doesn't want to have to deal with the body bags. He's like, I'll send them because they'll be dead by the time cops get here. Because I'm sure they're busy, chasing another kid with a toothbrush. So I got some time. But he's a little fucking sociopath. Where is the dog? Why is he doing all these elaborate traps? Why does he have a section? There's so many questions.
A dog, instead of the paint cans, a dog's carcass hits them in the head. No. Anyway, so he's going up to the attic after the phone call, and Marv's like, I got you, kid. And he grabs him as the kid's trying to get up the stairs. And he's like, give me a hand. I got him. And Kevin's trying to reach the tarantula that he sees on the stairs. And Kevin finally gets the tarantula, places the tarantula on Marv's face. Marv screams in fear as Kevin runs up the stairs. And Harry's
I guess they used a real tarantula for one scene, and it's a fake scream because he couldn't really scream because of the tarantula scaring him.
Wait, is that true? I was wondering because Daniel Stern, who plays Marv, he gets the tarantula on his face, and there's a close up of the tarantula on his face, and he does the biggest scream. It is the funniest thing. And I was like, how did they have a trained tarantula that did not get scared?
That's what it said online. So, if it's online, it has to be true. I also read it on, Parlor. So which makes
on Truth Social, it says.
So it's for sure. True. So that's what I saw online, but I could definitely be very wrong, as I am with a lot of things.
That would make sense, but it looked so real. Harry's like, never mind that. How do you like it, you jerk? Get that kid. And Kevin is gliding down a rope all the way to the treehouse that he set up across from this place.
Yeah, he Mulans it at the celebration for the emperor, and he pulls a Mulan, and they fucking zip line.
Kevin's like, down here, you big horse's ass, come and get me before I call the police. And Marv's like, let's get him. And Harry's like, wait, just what he wants us to do. Go back downstairs, though, his funhouse. So we get all tore through his funhouse so we can get all tore up. He's going to call the cops. He's not calling the cops from a treehouse. Come on. And they go out the window, and Harry's like, Marv's like, I'm not going out the window. Why? Are you scared, Mom? Are you afraid? Come on, get out here. Get out. And they're crawling across the wind, the rope, the wire rope thing. And Kevin's like, hey guys, check this out. And he has clippers to clip the rope. And Harry's like, go back. And he cuts the burglars fall on each other. It's so funny. And the little kid, Macaulay Culkin, runs away to the next house. And he's like, hey, I'm calling the cops. And Kevin enters the Murphy house. He enters via the basement door, which is flooded because they're the wet bandits. Kevin runs up the stairs, opens the door right as Marv and Harry are standing right in front of him. And he's like, hiya, pal. We outsmarted you this time. Get over here. And Marv and Harry hanging him by the sweater on the back of the coat hanger on the door. And Marv's like, what are you going to do to him, Harry? We'll do exactly what he did to us. We're going to burn his head with a blowtorch, and we're going to smash his face with an iron. And then all of a sudden, enter Old Man Marley. Well,
you missed my favorite line where he goes, I'm going to bite all your fingers off. If I was Marv, I'd be like, whoa, what?
And Old Man Marley is completely.
I didn't know we were eating his fingers.
You can tell Old Man Marley is turned on completely.
Yeah, because he was just like, I was about to hit. He's like, now I'm interested.
Old Man Marley smashes them with his shovel. And, it's great. Old Man Marley takes Kevin off the coat hanger, is like, let's go, let's get you home. And all of a sudden, the police cars arrive at the scene, and Kevin's like, wow, this is great. And Officer
And
One's like,
old man Marley was like, I gotta get out of here. My son called the cops on me. Don't say you saw me.
Officer number one's like, nice move, guys. Always leave the water running. Now we know each and every house that you've hit. Harry looks at Marv, shaking his head. And the officer's like, hey, we've been looking for you guys for a long time. Marv's like, yeah, well, remember, we're the wet bandits. Wet bandits. That's W-E-T. And Harry's like, shut up, Marv, shut up. And Officer One's like, hey, come on. Hands off the head, pal. And they're getting put in the light. Cut to Kevin putting milk and cookie out for Santa. Anyways, the next scene is with Kate and Gus in the back of the U-Haul van. And it's basically like, she's like, I'm a bad parent. And he's like, no, you're not. We're on the road 49 weeks a year. We hardly see our families. Joe over there, gosh, he forgets his kids' names half the time. Ziggy over here, he never even met his kid. Eddie, let's just hope none of them write a book about him. And tell me you've gone on vacation and left your child home, she says. No, but I did leave one at a funeral parlor once. Yeah, it was terrible too. It was all distraught and everything. The wife and I, we left that little tyke there in the funeral parlor all day. We went back at night when we came to our senses, and there he was. Apparently he was there all day with a corpse. Now he's okay. After 6-7 weeks, he came around and started talking again, but he's okay. He's okay. They get over it. Kids are resilient like that, which is just hysterical. By the way, you can't make jokes on top of a hysterical monologue.
That was my favorite line in the entire movie. John, he's just perfection.
Yeah, he's just great. It's like, I can't even explain what, like, you got to watch just that scene because I would never, it's like that. You can't, it's like, it's all like improv and like the 6 to 7 weeks. He's like, nah, he was fine. 6-7 weeks he came around. He was just so good. So
adorable. He was my favorite part of Splash too. Like him and Eugene Levy were like the best parts of Splash. But like, John,
So we wake up the next morning. It's been a snowy Christmas. It snowed all night. It's like a winter wonderland. Kevin wakes up excited, thinking his parents are going to be home, that Santa delivered his family. And Kevin wakes up and goes, Mom. And it's like, and then Kate comes in and we're like, Kevin. And all of a sudden, like, they see each other and Kate's like, Merry Christmas, sweetheart. Oh, Kevin, I'm so sorry. And Kevin's like, where's everybody else? Oh, baby.
There's a delay. Like you have to, like, he makes her like, wait, he like almost negs her a little bit. He like turns around. He gives her like,
he's mad. He's mad a little bit.
A few beats.
Yeah, he's mad.
Like her face, she's like so excited. And then like it cuts back to her face and she's like disappointed of like, oh, what if he's not gonna run me? Like it's anticipate. It's like, the end of like Homeward Bound. Like it's, he's shadowy. He doesn't show up right away for her.
Yeah. So, but he does. And then eventually right then and there, 2 minutes later, the whole family comes home and everybody's like, oh, we decided we all want to spend Christmas together as a family. And it's like, dude, it's just wild that the family, like that really pissed me off. Like,
she gets all of them on one flight, the 12 of them back, and she just gave away all that fucking money and her jewelry.
Yeah, like it's like, wow, like it really stuck with me, that part of it, because I was like, that's such a waste of a lot of resources, like so much stuff. And Buzz is like, wow, congrats, Kevin. It's pretty cool that you didn't burn the place down. And Kevin's like, thanks, Buzz. And Peter's like, oh, we took the morning flight. Remember the one you didn't want to wait for? Which just goes to that there's a little bit of like making fun of women in that line, I think, that didn't need to be there. The one you like, women that you weren't patient for.
Women be demanding and shopping. Am I right?
Women,
Am I right, guys?
Women be shopping. Anyways, Peter's like, Merry Christmas. And Kate's like, Merry Christmas. Someone has to find an open store. We don't even have milk here. And Kevin goes, I went shopping yesterday.
I got some fucking milk.
I drank all the milk, but I got eggs and fabric softener. And Kate's like, what? And Peter's like, no kidding. What a funny guy. And I think that line, what a funny guy, is like, oh, we were raising a serial killer. Like, what a funny little guy that I never want to mess with. What else did you do while we were away? And Kevin goes, just hung around. And everybody laughs.
He's like, he hung the dog. I mean, around.
Where's Sparky? Yeah. Buzz goes, he went shopping. He doesn't even know how to tie his shoe. He's going shopping. Peter's like, honey, what's this? And he picks up the gold tooth that fell out. And we cut to Kevin looking out of the drapes to find old man Marley united with his family. He shakes his hand at his son, hugs the wife, hugs the little girl. And it's really old man Marley looks at Kevin and Kevin looks at old man Marley. And then all of a sudden we hear Buzz's voice, Kevin, What did you do to my room? And Kevin gasps and runs away. Oh my God, we did it.
We did it.
Oh my God, they said it couldn't be done. Oh my
How
God.
much? How was it? 8 hours? How many?
I think this 5.5.
Oh, this is a blip. People are going to be like, wow, she said they put nothing into it.
Oh my God, I'm so happy. I'm getting emotional.
People go through, like, people do marathons. You should check. What's Carol Radswell's time for the New York Marathon? I think we took longer.
Oh, I feel like what Kate must have felt like seeing little Macaulay Culkin at home. Oh, thank God. Oh, I'll never watch this movie again, ever. By the way, this movie is only associated with bad memories. Oh, you guys, happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
So if it is funny.
I hope you enjoyed.
Old man Marley hugged his son and his wife, and he's like, the conversion camp I sent to him really worked. Now you're here with what should be a wife and son.
Oh, you guys, I'm thrilled. We've done this. This was a quick one. This was a nice little thing to get you. We will be back on Monday with a pop culture roundup with a very special guest. And Annabelle, where can people support you besides any kind of mental facility? And I was
going to say, I don't know. I don't know if I'm allowed access to phones where I'll be. You can go like pictures of Drago in his outfit on my Instagram at Annabelle DeSisto, and hopefully I can convince Ryan to let me post 20 minutes of this on my podcast, and so then it will shorten yours down to 7 hours.
No, this is all of next week's shows. So this is what we do it for. Wow.
And you can go listen to Ryan on previous episodes of Adderall and Compliments.
Yeah, Adderall and Compliments. Go subscribe if you haven't already. For real, there's so many amazing guests on there. Are all the episodes still up?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know if from the beginning, like you could go to the very first episode of Adderall and Compliments.
You can go to any of the ones with Ryan, and be, equally disappointed there. The ones with Ryan are obviously like the best.
No, you have tons of great guests.
No, I'm not saying that in a certain, I realize anything coming out of my face and my voice, it sounds sarcastic. No, but Ryan's, episodes are definitely some of my like top favorites, and that's where we started our movie thing. That's where I started for.
What was the first movie?
Twilight.
Oh God, yeah, those were good ones. Those were kind of by comparison very quick, like very quick. 3-hour little dances.
They're like commercials compared to this one.
By the way, this is the only podcast where you're like, you know what? The commercials, when are the commercials coming? Are there going to be commercials? Annabelle, I love you. I'm going to rest up my voice now.
I'm so sorry.
I will be talking to you never again, but hopefully we will hear Annabelle very soon. And if not, Adderall and Compliments is the podcast. Pray for her. Pray with everything you got, you guys. Pray with everything that you got for her this holiday season. And we love you, but also really go check out Adderall and Compliments. And we will actually talk to her very soon. So Annabelle, good night. Good night, Annabelle.
Good night and good luck, Ryan.